Good evening on whatever day it is. I don't know. I've woken up in the middle of the night and there's the moon and Mars just outside my window. And yeah, I would say God is asking me to read these poems. I thought, well, Mars is the bringer of war. And what war are we entering into? As we're in these last days, we just look at the world and it's going a little bit mad, in my opinion. And oh gosh, all the stories, what's true, what's fake news, and this whole thing of artificial intelligence. So I thought, well, I've got Mars outside my window. I'm going to bring out my war poems and start with artificial intelligence. Because I think war's a bit of a man thing. And it just doesn't make any sense. Much better to work with forgiveness and not want to hurt others, millions of others. Artificial intelligence slipped in softly, secretly, behind the scenes, where idleness... Hold on. I'll just start again on there. So artificial intelligence slipped in softly, secretly behind the scenes, where idleness meets idolatry. Idolatry fuels idleness, mimicking like 2-year-olds in nursery. Autonomy yet to learn, autonomy sidelined automatically, order dictated, freedom thwarted. Mothers enslaved to automated traffic lights, in automobiles on auto-drive, speeding for school pickup. Men picking up more mothers to be, passions thwarted, love diverted, released as an archer's bow in the name of safety. Touch and abuse, mistouch the abuse, no touch and abuse. Ignorance the ignorer, isolation the pinnacle, independence the poster, loneliness the product, automated, intelligence forgotten, sold out, artificial, no art in artificial. Artificial intelligence can only be a contradiction of itself. I just wonder why are we enslaving ourselves to artificial intelligence? So we seem to cause ourselves a lot of pain. Short, sharp, stabbing sensations. Slowly, surely, sour the sweetness of life like a meaningless argument. So much suffering and pain in the world. Anyway, let's have a look at the war poems. So what is war? War, a state of armed conflict. War, maiming and killing. War, no peace. Living in fear means no trust, which means more fear. Which 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 means no trust, which means no love. Which means killing, which means more fear, which means no trust, which means more fear, which means no trust, which means more fear, which means no trust, which means more fear, which means more pain, which means no trust, which means no love, which means no peace. Thou shalt not kill. Love is not a cortisol stress hormone. War is raging cortisols. So, war sonnet. Explosions exploiting men's balls and egos. Explosions exploiting the land, air and sea foes. Conflicting thoughts of thoughts, land and love. Conflicting thoughts not from heaven above. Conflict that blows off heads, arms and legs. Conflict that stops men sleeping in beds. Conflict that arises from stress and from fear. Conflict creating more than one tear. Conflict of man only hurts, maims and kills. Conflict of man makes us all stressed on pills. Conflict of man from seeking his thrills gives to the world a skin full of chills. Conflicts are only man's egos with issues. Conflicts are best dealt with therapy and tissues. Just a few clouds coming over there now. So, Israel. Jerusalem in Israel was once green and pleasant, but now only dust war is the present. Dust of dark dirt, flesh, eyes and bones. Dust of dark history, hope, faith and homes. Dust of blood bombs from the homeless. Dust of conflict from the faithless. Dust of Jacob's forgotten sons, remembering only oil-based sums. Well, these are sums that I do dwell, that 666 equals hell, hell on earth to take the peace with every single war, one piece. One piece of peace is lost with each soul. Surely it is positive to teach lovers whole. So, 666, Revelation 13, and malignant ulcers. Sin is anti to Christ, anti-whole, incomplete, falling short of love made whole in mind, body and spirit. Falling short of the corpus callosum, joining hemispheres, falling short of Corpus Christi, broken flows of infinite eights. 888 in mind, body and spirit. 666. No positive crossovers for a positive life. No 144,000 positive thoughts for making love whole, for creating oneness of love made whole and one in us, in our body, the temple for God's love to dwell. 000, whole in mind, body and spirit. 666 is the number of the beast. 666 lacks completeness in love made whole and one in us. 8011 I. 666 is the number of the beast, flesh without spirit of God's love. Man mean men, mean women. 666 is anxiety and fear in mind, body and self, with no whole spirit of love. Just flesh cultivating guilt, shame, anxiety, toxins, fear and conflict for war. Love is not a cortisol. In this poem I'm looking at the form of a 6 as compared to an 8. So in the body there's an energy pattern of 8s, which is very healing and soothing and connecting, and we work with 8s to fix the flow of energy, and a 0 being a whole, or like an O, like an O in olive. So I see that representing the whole, as in the completeness and the round, the ring. And then if we look at the 6, it's in the lower chakra chakras of the body. So the clouds coming over, so can't quite see Mars now. So nations rise. Drugs fueling dichotomies of mind, making okay what is purely unkind. Frustrations causing extreme distress. Chemical war, our blood is a mess. Red blood's raging, turmoil as the sea. Tsunamis rising inside you and me. Blood boiling over, exploding like a bomb. Positive life has gone terribly wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong and wrong. Positive life has gone terribly wrong. Destroyed in poverty, austerity and lies, causing addictions and no one asks why. Why are we, as a global family, warring over what should set us free? How many billions of people have died from religious wars and conflict? God is love, and love is not a cortisol. Cortisol stress hormone. So may Jesus Christ return quickly to restore the peace, the justice and the peace. Only justice comes through. The love of Jesus Christ is that wholeness of spirit, and the wholeness of spirit attaining to love, joy, faith, which is the assured expectation of good things, goodness, mildness and kindness, with patience and self-control, not to sin, not to abuse, not to hurt, in order to have a quiet conscience for twofold peace. Twofold peace is the meaning of the name Jerusalem. So Jesus Christ is the Prince of Peace, the wonderful counsellor. So when there is a problem, a hurt, a vengeance, God teaches us to love our enemies and to forgive. And prevention is always better than cure, so not to betray others, not to hurt others. And then we can have the peace of the Holy Spirit that transcends all thought and makes home for the dove of the Holy Spirit. How far away is peace one day? One day then too makes life better for you and for me. Then we can have 3 and maybe 4. For more to live and to love in harmony with self and with others. Harmonious love, harmony with nature and peace from above. The planets and moon mean peace very soon. So please do tune to the peace of love that excels all thought and makes home for the dove. Have faith that the good will conquer the evil and that love can conquer the fear. It is so very near and clear that when love conquers all, man can walk tall. No need to conquer or blame one another. Then we can be a family with man united by the peace of love that excels all thought and makes home for the dove. Yea, peace every day is not far away, because Jesus Christ is returning quickly and will be installed as King of the kingdom of heaven on earth, for healing all nations. All nations, so all people, we all heal in the same way, we all have the same ability to attain to consciousness and conquer the fears which cause the conflict, which cause the wars. So in accord with Isaiah, we will learn war no more. Do beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning shears, as it is written. Turn to the land, let's look after the land and our environment. And what are we creating a world on artificial intelligence for? It's just madness. It's madness. Oh dear. Anyway, God bless us, please, because we need help. We really do need help. And all we have to do is conquer those fears and stresses to attain to that wonderful life with the Holy Spirit. dwelling in us, in our body, the temple. And with love, we can make this world a beautiful place, heaven on earth, as promised. God bless.